Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Rafma Yusra, perwakilan dari kelompok analisis zat gizi mikro, akan mempresentasikan hasil diskusi kami yaitu mengenai Labster Labsagetik. Saya bersama teman-teman saya yaitu Suci Arya Alfani, Rani Kurniawati Manurung, Gita Utami, dan Deborah.
If you hover over an object, you will see a tooltip pop up. In case an object is out of view, you will see arrows on the side of your field of view. Just turn around to find the object. Are you ready to start with your mission? Perfect, then let's get started with your first mission. Now pick up the safety goggles and you are ready to go. Click on the door to enter the laboratory. This lab was used by first-year chemistry students, and they obviously didn't leave it in the safest condition. Have a look around and identify the different hazards. Find 5 safety hazards and click on them. Well spotted. Every lab has 2 emergency exits which ensure that nobody gets cornered in the event of a fire. The emergency door isn't any good if it is blocked by objects. Click on the handcart to move it to a safe location. Well done. The emergency exits have to always be clear. One hazard down. 4 more to go. Identify the hazards by clicking on them. The fume hood constantly draws air through a filter to ensure that you don't get in contact with dangerous chemicals. The airflow only works effectively if the glass sash is pulled down. Let's close this fume hood. What a relief. Now the air is safe to breathe. There are 3 more hazards. Can you find them? A sink full of dirty glassware isn't a nice surprise. Make sure you always clean, dry, and put away the equipment after every experiment. Let's remove the glassware. Beautiful, clean and tidy. There are 2 more hazards. Can you find them? For sure, chemicals need to be stored in designated cupboards and not just placed on the floor. This is especially important for reactive chemicals. Flammable liquids need to be stored. Flammable liquids need to be stored in fireproof cabinets. There is one more hazard. Click on it.
Apa itu?
That's it. This bench looks very messy. It is important to keep the lab bench tidy. Any clutter should be cleared away before starting a new experiment, and there should be no hazardous chemicals left on a workbench. Time to take care of the hazardous chemicals on boxes. Click on them to have a closer look. Click on the bottle containing flammable liquid. Check the media tab for help. Well done. The red diamonds on the bottles are called hazard symbols. Each of them depicts a different hazard. Have a look at the following overview of the different hazard symbols. Which symbol depicts an oxidizing reagent? No, this is incorrect. Please try again. Click on the View Image button to have a look at the hazard symbols again. Precisely. Oxidizing reagents are very dangerous because they can accelerate chemical reactions, such as fires, by providing electronegative atoms. What does the following symbol mean? You got it. There are many kinds of health hazards. Substances with this symbol can cause respiratory problems, induce mutations and cancer, or may be toxic to specific organs. Here is an image of the hazard symbol on the box. What does it mean? No, this is incorrect. No, this is incorrect. Please try again. No, this is incorrect. Please try again. Well done. These chemicals definitely don't belong here. Imagine if somebody walks into the pile and the glass bottles fall onto the floor. Click on the bottles to remove them. Let's get rid of this safety hazard. Click on the cluttered workbench to tidy it up. Oh dear, this workbench is a real mess. Hopefully, you will never see something like this in a real lab. Let's take care of the problems one by one. Start with turning off the Bunsen burner. It is very dangerous to keep an open flame unattended. Turn off the Bunsen burner flame. Great. Now click on an object that you should never bring into the lab. Well spotted. Food and drink are strictly prohibited in the lab. Imagine if somebody grabbed the wrong bottle by mistake and took a sip of the toxic substance. There's another object that doesn't belong here. Find it. Exactly. Personal equipment is not supposed to be placed on workbench surfaces. Could you imagine what would happen if this backpack caught fire? Before you touch anything else, better wear gloves. Click on the glove box to put some on. There is a living organism on this bench. Can you find it? Oh, have a look at this. There is a bacteria colony growing on this agar plate. This might be some dangerous pathogen. We need to use a special bin for biological waste. Discard the petri dish with the unknown bacterial sample in the biohazard waste bin. There is still a protocol from a previous experiment on the table. Clean up the lab protocol. Oops, you've just spilled a hazardous chemical. Have a look at the hazard symbol on the beaker. What does the hazard symbol on the beaker mean? Brilliant. This is a corrosive chemical. We are dealing with either an acid or a base. You can use a pH indicator to figure out what it is. You only need a tiny drop of the indicator. You can use a micropipette for this. Pick up the pipette from its holder. Now pick up a pipette tip from the box. Drop a drop of the indicator liquid. Now add a drop to the spill to identify if it's an acid or a base. Fantastic. When you added the indicator liquid to the spill, the drop turned red. This means the spilled chemical must be a strong acid. We need to neutralize it before cleaning it up. Strong acids react with your skin can cause burns. That's why it's very important to protect your hands with gloves. First, discard the tip in the trash bin and put the pipette back on its holder. Spills of strong acids or bases have to be neutralized before you can dispose of them. Sodium bicarbonate is the chemical term for baking soda. It neutralizes the acid, and the remains can be scooped into a plastic bin and discarded. Let's neutralize this acid spill. Pick up the baking soda. Put baking soda on the spilled solution. Well done. Now put the neutralizer back on the shelf. Now it is safe to use an absorbent paper to clean up the spill. The neutralized acid can be disposed of in the solid chemical waste. Usually, the chemical waste is stored in a fume hood. During the cleanup, your gloves got contaminated. You need to dispose of them to avoid spreading chemicals over everything you touch. Click on the trash bin to discard your contaminated gloves. Why didn't you just clean the spill with water? Superb. If you drop water into a strong acid, they react and produce a lot of heat. The reaction could potentially lead to splashes of acid. A drop of such a corrosive chemical in your eye could cause serious damage and lead to blindness. That's why it's essential to wear safety goggles all the time. Now, just because this is a virtual lab, let's do something crazy and simulate a situation in which you don't wear any safety goggles. Don't try this at home. Put the goggles on the bench. Pour the beaker containing the unknown acid solution into the bottle with the unknown toxic liquid. Like I said, don't ever try this at home. This seems to have triggered an interesting reaction. It seems potentially dangerous. What should you do now? Definitely, if you have no idea what kind of chemicals you are dealing with, you better get out of the lab until the danger is contained. In this case, we will do the opposite to show you what can happen if you make this critical mistake. Hopefully, you will remember this for the rest of your lab career, and never do it. Let's see what would happen if you close the bottle. It's still bubbling. Take a closer look by picking the bottle up. Click on the lab pad for more information. Oh no, you've got acid in your eyes. Quickly go to the red safety station next to the emergency exit. Push the toggle at the safety station to rinse your eyes with water. After washing the acid out of your eyes, you should immediately consult a doctor. Your eyes are very fragile and it is very important to protect them with safety goggles at all times. Why is it dangerous to wear contact lenses in the lab? No, this is incorrect. Please try again. No, this is incorrect. Please try again. Precisely. The chemical splash might get in between the lenses and the eyeball, and stay there even when you start washing your eyes. If you wear contact lenses, follow the safety instructions of your lab. In some labs it's forbidden to wear contact lenses, in others you must follow additional safety precautions. Your decision to evacuate the lab has been reconfirmed. If something is steaming or bubbling, you should never close it. If the reaction continues, the pressure will increase until it explodes. Congratulations on your smart decision. Now, can you find the fire blanket? What should you not do if a person's clothes suddenly catch fire? You got it. The most effective way to extinguish burning clothes is by rolling on the floor. Water is also a good choice if it's in close proximity. If you see a burning person running down a corridor to reach a safety shower, stop them and try to smother the fire. Never use a fire blanket on a standing person. The blanket may create a chimney effect that can intensify the fire and burn the person's face. What would you use if there was an open fire in the lab? Precisely. There are usually two different types of fire extinguishers: carbon dioxide-based extinguishers and foam-based extinguishers. Never use a carbon dioxide-based extinguisher on a person. Do you know the reason why? Brilliant. The carbon dioxide is compressed inside the extinguisher and becomes freezing cold when it's released. Exposure to the skin might cause serious frostbite. What is the first thing you have to do if there is a fire in the lab? No, this is incorrect. Please try again. No, this is incorrect. Please try it. Precisely. Fighting the fire is only a priority when everybody is safe and aware of the danger. It's important to stay calm and first figure out what type of fire you are dealing with. Some fires actually get worse when you throw water on them. Great job. You're a safety expert now. Your friend, Lucy, just entered the lab. She has never worked in a lab before. Teach her what you have learned today. What lab safety protocols is Lucy violating? You can always lower the lab pad and have a look at her again. That's right. Have a look at her again and identify what's wrong. Click on different parts of Lucy's clothing to identify her mishaps. She looks pretty unprofessional without a lab coat, right? Not only do lab coats make you look like a pro, but they also protect your clothes and skin from any minor spills. That's it. It is compulsory to wear long pants in the lab to protect your skin from spills. Exactly. Toes should be covered to protect from falling objects as well as chemical spills. Good job. You have already learned why it's important to properly protect your eyes. Normal glasses don't suffice. Never forget to wear safety goggles. Well spotted. When you are working in the lab, long hair should be tied back. Imagine if her hair catches fire on a Bunsen burner flame. These loose sleeves are very impractical. You don't want your sleeves soaked in chemicals. Well spotted. Large jewelry can get in the way, fall into chemicals or cause a hazard and has no place in the lab. Well done, you have proven that you know how to work in a lab. What do you have to do before leaving the lab, to make sure you don't carry traces of chemicals outside? No, this is incorrect. Please try again. Exactly. If there are traces of chemicals in your hands, you might, for example, transfer them to something that you eat later in the day. Let me ask you one last question. Do you feel like you gained relevant knowledge during this simulation? Thank you for your feedback. Your score has been saved together with your 100% progress. Congratulations, you have completed the simulation. We hope you enjoyed it and you feel wiser now.